So 1940s was a decade of unrest, struggle, and hope. And there were a lot of incidents, great incidents happening during this period. So due to all these wartime expenditure, all these established studios ran into difficulties. Some folded quickly, and others, like Bombay Talkies, managed to survive by renting out their studios to the new independent producers. And we see the collapse of the studios, and which was accelerated by the demise or decline of the dominant figures. So we had these dominant figures like Shandaram, and in the last class we talked about the honor of Bombay Talkies. It was Himanshu Rai. With the death of these people, the Bombay Talkies and Prabhat Talkies collapsed, and we see an emergence of a new trend during this period. So there was this large inflow of cash from black marketeers, and they were actually eager to plow their money into films. And all these new independent producers started entering the business of making movies. So, this was actually a blow to the united, cohesive system which was established by all these studios, mainly these three studios. All these new theaters, new producers brought about a new trend during 1940s. So there was this oversupply of films and a scarcity of theaters. And we see an interesting fact here, which is still evident in Indian film industry, that all these, with the oversupply of films and scarcity of theaters, all these distributors and exhibitors began to dictate terms to producers. So they kind of began to influence the kind of films that were being made. Exhibitors started identifying certain stars and certain kinds of songs and dances as crowd pleasers, and demanded that producers deliver these features if they wish to have their new films screened. So you may know that it is still a, a unique feature of film industry where when all these when a certain set of film has been become when it becomes crowd pleasers, there is a general trend to imitate all those films, and it started in 1940s. So producers started understanding the market value of a star. So from then on, we see all those films which were placed in rural settings where romance blossomed. We see the stars singing soulful songs, and which actually engendered a fan following among the audiences. So here we see the rise of stars. So you may have noted that till then, 1930s, we knew the films by the names of their directors. It was V. Shantaram's film, it was P.C. Barro's film, it was Mehboob Khan's film. But from now on, we knew the films with the name of the stars. And you may know that it is still continuing. So they started promoting the beauty, the talent, and charisma of stars, which was actually which actually became a commodity. which actually became a commodity which attracted the audience to cinema in groups. And we have all these romantic stories with complicated family relationships which provided emotional tension, highlighting stars, songs, dance, and spectacle. It became the order of the day. So we see the Indian films striking its winning formula, the essential ingredients of Indian film. It is still the essential ingredients of Indian films. It is the combination of song, dance, spectacle, and fantasy. So this is known as the formula films. It is also known by the name masala films. So these are the masalas you still see in Indian films. So there will be songs, there will be dance, there will be spectacle and fantasy, all those romantic stories. And we see the stars dancing, and we see the great spectacle. So, watching all those Bollywood movies, like the movies of Sanjay Leela Bansali, it is something like a spectacle. So, it started, you must understand, it is not a recent phenomenon. It has a history way back to 1940s. So, along with that, we see the uh, emergence of new directors like Bimal Roy, Gurudutt, K. Abbas, etc. So this is 1940s. 1940s, in a nutshell, it is an age of unrest and struggle. We have this intense political activity happen during this period because of all these nationalist movement, and we see this strict censorship from the part of colonial government, and how all these directors devised a method to circumvent this rule. So they reintroduced the themes of mythology into their films, and it was something like, as I said earlier, it was something like patriotism in disguise. So as an Indian, we will understand the real theme of these movies, how it tried to give out the mm, idea of patriotism, but to a foreigner, it will be just a mythological story. So that is a major characteristics of the films during this period. And later we talked about the decline of all these studios, and the emergence of new independent producers and distributors who started dictating terms to the directors, and they identified some films as crowd pleasers, some stars, some on screen pairs as the super hit pair, and they wanted films made with those stars. So we see the rise of stars during this period. Along with that, we see the formula comes into Indian film, that is the mixture of song, dance, spectacle, and fantasy. So this is the ingredient these are the ingredients of Indian film. So I'm stopping my lecture on 1940s. So I have mentioned some of the films. If you get time, you go to YouTube, watch all these films. Particularly, please watch the song from Kismet. It is Dur Hato. So thank you, girls. Have a nice day.